Like and subscribe on the way in the door, people. Today, I want a big round of applause for Deion Sanders. Thank goodness for Deion Sanders. And hopefully more high-profile people will come out and start speaking the truth. But before we get into that, I want to say thank goodness for YouTube. Thank goodness for people like Dreamers Pro. Shout out to Dreamers Pro because I just watched his video where he talks about this. Shout out to Too Raw for Sports. Shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants. Shout out to Uncut Hoops. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops Fan. And I'm sure I'm leaving people out, but that's a good start. Thank goodness for people who actually say what the truth is. Or at the very least, give their untainted opinion. You know what I mean. Fanboys, you know what I mean. Who will give their opinion that is not tainted by Clutch Sports money. So let's talk about it. And apparently what Deion said rubbed J.J. Redick and LeBron James the Deer the wrong way. So I'm going to just read the headline of this article from Fadeaway World. Deion Sanders says that Michael Jordan wanted that smoke, which NBA players today avoid. They want to be Tarzan on paper. Round of applause for Deion Sanders. I just did a video on competition a couple of days ago. I read the definition of what it means to compete. Fanboys. Compete means to establish superiority over someone else who's trying to do the same thing you are. Deion Sanders says Michael Jordan wanted that smoke. Fanboys, you all seen The Last Dance. Don't pretend like you don't know what we talking about. You all seen The Last Dance where the 92 finals and they were trying to compare Clyde Drexler to Michael Jordan. You all seen that. You all seen that. And he says, Clyde was a threat. I'm not saying he wasn't a threat, but him being compared to me, I took offense to that. I took offense to that because I am superior to Clyde. I am the superior basketball player. That's what this is about. That's why we compete, fanboys. We compete to establish dominance. And you guys holding on to this pipe dream of LeBron James competing and somehow trying to rationalize him joining D. Wade and Chris Bosh. Man, hey, please, it's time to get really real right now, fanboys. Let's stop pretending. See, I know this destroys your whole world you have built around LeBron being the GOAT because he probably represents your generation, and I get it. You want the player from your generation to be the GOAT. Some of you have no excuse. But some of you want the player from your generation to be the GOAT. And I that's understandable coming up as a person who grew up in the 90s, and I can say with certainty that the player from my generation is the GOAT. But why can I say that? Because the player from my generation, it was his mission to establish dominance over everyone else. And let's talk about something, because you fanboys love to bring up, oh, well, he didn't beat Isaiah till he got old. Isaiah was not that old when Michael Jordan beat him. And then so let's go ahead and get this all out on the table, fanboys. Let's get it all out there. So then they like to go to the fact, oh well, maybe he wasn't actually that old in age, but it takes a toll on you, because Isaiah Thomas himself has said this. It takes a toll on you when you go into finals after finals. Okay, let's say all that is true. But then you have to concede that the fact that Michael Jordan's second three-peat, he was older than Isaiah Thomas, and he had already been to the finals 3 times and won them. And he did it all over again. And let's go ahead and kill this too. Because you fanboys, you guys are like clockwork. I know exactly how you work. I know your comebacks. We all know them. Then they're going to say, oh, well, Michael Jordan quit after the first three-peat. He quit. They're not even going to be honest and say, well, he got to rest because his father was tragically killed. They're not even going to be that honest. News for you fanboys. Michael Jordan did not take off and rest. Michael Jordan was playing baseball, meaning he was still training, he was still in a sport. And one could argue was doing something that was harder because he had to completely train for a different sport. So again, like I said, if you want to criticize him and try to say that Isaiah Thomas was old, or if he wasn't that old, he had miles on him because he had already won back-to-back championships and been to the finals, then you got to give Jordan that credit as well for being old on that second three-peat and for having already had a lot of miles because he had already three-peated once to begin with. So pick your poison, fanboys. Which one is it gonna be? You can't have it both ways. Which one is it? Let me know. Talk to me. Okay. So yeah, Michael Jordan was truly competitive, and Deion Sanders is pointing this out. And we need more people, more high-profile people, to come out. And fanboys, this is what y'all don't realize. This is good for you too, because maybe you guys can actually live to see another great player like Michael Jordan if they kill this Barbie era of the NBA that we live in. This could be good for you guys. It'll increase the competition. It'll increase the watchability. I know you guys don't see it now. It's like your parents have to tell you, you might not understand this until it happens. But if they actually get rid of this Barbie era of the NBA, bring back the competition level, only then may we actually have the potential for seeing another Michael Jordan. Because you cannot have another Michael Jordan in an era with no competition. Michael Jordan thrived off competition. If you do not create circumstances for someone to overcome, you cannot have another player of that caliber. It's really just that simple. When you allow players to take shortcuts, like, okay, fine, you want to play them all this money before they've proved a thing, that's one thing. But at the very least, to me, it's like, hey, make them play with the team they got drafted to. Make them say, hey, you got to be with this team for 10 years before it's even possible for you to move. And then we're going to see what happened. Then we're going to see the players that are actually truly working on getting better themselves on a year-to-year basis. We're going to see the players who actually have the will, who have the determination. We're going to see how bad they actually want to win. We're going to see if they need to win so badly that they start holding their teammates accountable. That's when you really see who's who. Is when you're in a circumstance you cannot escape. Okay, you're with these teammates for the next several years. Now, what are you going to do? You going to keep on with your passive-aggressive leadership style? Or you going to hold them and be like, look, I have to win, so I need y'all to do this, this, and this. And when they're not doing that, say, hey, you're not doing that. Get it together. Or I'm going to be riding you until you get it together. Because I have to win. Yeah. So thank goodness that seeing Deion Sanders said that made my day. And I hope it made a lot of you all's day as well. Anyway, we gonna hold up here. But yeah, I just think, like I said, to me, we need a lot more people who's willing to call it like it is. These players don't want to compete, but they don't want to say that on ESPN. They don't want to just come out and say, like, people like Chris Broussard, you know, he's always trying to sugarcoat stuff and not say it like it is. Well, you know, I wouldn't really say that they're not competitive. They just blah, 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 blah. No, Chris Broussard, they don't want to compete. I wouldn't really say they're not as passionate about the game. They just don't want to get injured practicing the game. Whether if you don't want to practice, you don't want to win. Period. If you don't want to practice, you don't really want to win, or at least you don't want to earn a win. Anyway, we are going to hold up here. If you guys got to check out the video on Deion, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think? Do you think Deion was spot on the money with what he said about today's players and competing? That they want to look good on paper, but they don't really want that smoke. Let me know what you guys think. You all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. All right.